If you know someone that's struggling, these are some ways that you can help them. So seek to understand what they're going through, where they're coming from. We can reduce stigma by increasing awareness. So the more that we talk about mental health and the more that we make it okay to think about mental health, the more that everyone is able to get the help that they need. So someone might need space and they might tell you that, but you can let them know that you're there for them when they need them. And being consistent really helps. And positive vibes are contagious. So that's why I try to stay positive in the morning, even though positivity in the morning is sometimes hard for me. I know it's contagious. So for Teen Mental Wellness Day, our question is, what's your favorite way to take care of yourself? My favorite way to take care of myself is to go for a long walk at the end of the day. I used to run, but now I've decided I think I like walking better. Like just lets my brain decompress a little bit more. I'm not like thinking about breathing so much. So walking definitely has been good for me. What are some ways that you take care of yourself? Might be playing video games. Put it in the chat. What's your favorite way to take care of yourself? Favorite way to take care of yourself? Might be listening to music. Yeah, Fernando's jamming out to music. Love it. Cooking and eating for sure. Drawing and painting. Yep, art can be super helpful. Following Bob Ross tutorials. I like it. That's cool. Listening to music, having a little spa day. Love a good spa day. Sleeping and exercising. Showering while listening to music. I like that too. Listening to music. Love it. Lifting and eating. Definitely. For sure. Definitely. Cool. Thank you for sharing those techniques with you. I think it's super important to take some time for yourself. So appreciate that. So it is Teen Mental Wellness Day. I'll wrap it up by letting you know that if you ever are thinking about a struggle or whatever, feel free to reach out to me. You have my phone number, you have my email, and I'd love to chat with you. So there it is. All right, we're going to jump into our agenda. We have some announcements this morning, and then we'll do notes and then start our assignment. So my announcement is this. It is week 8, right? It is week 8. There are only a few weeks left until final grades. So we have week 8, 9, 10, and 11 this time, right? So normally when we have 10, but we actually have number 11 this time so that our spring break is in the right place. Per usual, you would want to make sure that you are passing all of your classes so that you don't have spring break credit recovery, because you want to have two weeks of spring break rather than just one. So today, I'll let you know how the rest of this week is going to plan out. Today, we're going to do assignment 31. And then on Thursday, if you are caught up with this unit, right, so 29 through 31, we're going to play a review game together. And if you're not caught up, that's okay too. Then we'll work in a small group to have you submit your assignments from 29 to 31. So just 29, 30, and 31. Those are going to be our focuses for Thursday. Okay. So either play a game or we'll work together. So either way, sounds like a plan. I know a few of you are having Wi-Fi trouble this morning. No problem. But if you can make sure to take attendance, please, that'd be great. On that note, that there are only a few weeks left, now is the time to get our butts in shape and turn some things in. So I made a quick list of the last 3 assignments, right? 28, 29, and 30. If you find your name right here, that means that you need to turn in or resubmit that assignment. Some of you did parts of that assignment, but not all of it, right? So some people might just need to resubmit. Some people might need to turn it in for the first time. Both of those are okay. But I did want to make sure that we knew which ones they were. So go ahead and scan these lists, look for the first letter of your name, see if your name is on here at all, right? And then check out what number you need to submit. If you need to resubmit the Desmos, the page is on Canvas. It tells you exactly what to do. Follow the directions. If you would need to resubmit 29, the directions are on 29 in Canvas. If you need to resubmit 30, the directions are on 30 in Canvas. This is as of last night. So if you turned in anything this morning or late last night, your name will still be here even if you turned it in. Okay. Are there any questions about the assignments that are missing? Cool. If you see your name here, I'm happy to hear your plan. I would love to know what you're going to do in order to turn it in. Like, hey, miss, I'm going to turn it in this afternoon. Or like, hey, miss, I can do this assignment like tonight. I would love to hear that. If you want to send me a direct message, you're welcome to. If you want to keep that plan to yourself, that's okay. I just want to make sure that we are making a plan since it is week 8. We do not have very many weeks left. And I believe this Friday is our last Friday, our last regular Friday to get caught up. So I want to make sure we are in the right place. Okay. All right. All right. With that, we are going to jump into our notes, right? We're going to jump into our notes. That means you're going to need paper and pencil, right? Paper and pencil. If you have your paper and pencil, or if you have your document that you want to write on, feel free to, we're going to fill out this poll real fast. Are you ready to go? You're ready to take some notes here real fast? Do you need just a second? I need a minute to get ready here, so we shall do so. And thank you for your patience. If you need the notes are in Canvas. If you want to open them up yourself, that is totally fine. All right. Let me do a new share here. All right. We're going to get started with trig to find angles. Trig to find angles. We are going to need a calculator today. So I will go ahead and send you the one that I use. We're going to need a calculator today. And I would highly recommend using the Desmos calculator. I think it's the best computer calculator. Cool. Okay, my friends, we're going to start by reminding ourselves about, we're going to start with reminding ourselves about how to solve for x, right? Solving for x. So how would I solve for x in this first problem here? I have x plus 2 equals 9. What would I do first? How would I get x by itself?
Move the 2 to the other side.
How would I move it, Roxana?
You would subtract.
Subtracting 2. Good job. Thank you for coming off mute, starting us off strong. All right, so we have x equals 7, right? So we're doing the opposite, right? The opposite. Thank you, W, in the chat as well. Okay, and then we learned this maybe 2 weeks ago. How do I get rid of a square root? How do I get rid of a square root? It's the opposite of a square root. I don't square root it. I square it, right? I square both sides, right? I square both sides. A square root and a square are inverses, they're opposites. They cancel each other out. We get x equals 9 squared, 81, right? So whenever we do whenever we solve equations, we do the opposite, right? We do the opposite. Does anyone know, potentially remember, if I want to get this x by itself when I have sine x equals 14 over 15, does anyone know what the opposite of sine x is? What's the opposite of sine? Any guesses?
CSC.
Oh, CSC. That's a good reminder. we had sine, and then we said like the reverse of it would be cosecant, CFC. Yeah, cosecant. That is like when we take the 14 over 15 and we flip it to be 15 over 14. That's an amazing guess. However, when we're solving equations, the opposite of sine looks like this: sine -1. Sine -1. Right? And the sine -1 and the sine will cancel and just the x will come out. Right? But what we do on one side, we have to do on the other, sine -1. Sine -1 of this one too. So sine -1 and sine would cancel and leave me with just x equals. And then in our calculators, we're going to do sine -1 of 14 over 15. Some people call this arc sine. I've seen it called arc sine before. Some people call this sine -1. Some people call this sine inverse. There are a variety of words that we might use to describe it. It is not an exponent. It's just showing the inverse. So we're going to press functions the same way that we've been pressing functions. And instead of sine, we're going to choose this one right here, sine -1, like that. And then we would do 14 divided by 15, just like that. 14 divided by 15. And we can see here, I do want to check that my calculator is in degrees. So I'm going to go up here, press this guy, and go to degrees here. Right, go to degrees there. So that means that this is in degrees. And I have 68.96. I want to round, I'm going to use one decimal place today. So I would have x equals 69.0. Can someone talk to me about why this is, why did I put 69.0 when I had 69.96? What happened? Yes, I rounded up. I rounded up for sure. My 6 is turning that 9 into a 10, right? Which is really a 0, which is making it 69. Yes. Awesome. All right. So if that is true, how would I get rid of this sign? What would I use to get rid of that? How could I get x by itself? Sine -1. For sure. And I have to do that on both sides. Sine -1. How could I get rid of cosine? What do you think I could do to get rid of cosine? Yeah, cosine -1, right? Cosine -1. And I'm going to do that on this side as well. So you'll see that option here. You'll see cosine -1 right here. How could I get rid of tangent? Hey, Melanie already knew what I was going to ask. I love it. Tangent, right? We do tangent, just like that, right? So anytime that we see tangent x and they're locked together, we can get rid of the tangent portion by using tangent -1, okay, tangent inverse. So we are going to follow the exact same steps that we were following for 30. So this is awesome. We're going to follow the same steps as we were following on our last week's Thursday. Same exact steps. This time we might need to use that tan -1 or the cosine -1, right? But if you were thinking last week, like, oh shoot, I'm not sure that I quite understood what we were supposed to be doing, great news. We're reviewing that concept in this concept. So super awesome. All right, that also means that many of us are in a good place to support me in the first few steps. So the first thing that I need to do is label the sides that they give me, right? My unknowns and my knowns. So my unknown here is an angle. It's theta, right? Theta is unknown. We don't know what that is, right? And then some people are already telling me in the chat, yes, great job. I'm going to go straight across. Is this O, H, or A? O, H, or A? I see you, Gabby. Thank you. Is 11 O, H, or A? Yes, absolutely. It's O. It's O. It's my opposite. It's my opposite. And then is 27, is it H or A? Is 27 H or A? Yeah, it's H. Yeah, it's our longest side. It's H. Good job. All right, so I have O and H. Am I going to use sine, cosine, or tangent? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Yeah, I'm going to use sine. I have O and H, O and H. So I'm going to use those two. So sine is going right here. This is going to be sine. Sine. Yeah. So since it's sine, sine always comes with an angle after it, but we don't know our angle. So I'm going to use this theta right here. I'm going to use this theta right here. I'm going to just press, it's like a circle with a line through it. Some people make it like this, like a little dude with like a little hat on, like a stick man with a hat on. Some people make it like that. There are a couple other ways to write it. It's a Greek letter, right? It's a Greek letter. So there's an uppercase version and a lowercase version. Pretty cool. Okay, so we have sine theta, and then it tells me O over H, O over H. So what numbers am I going to put? What over what? What is my O? Yes, good job, chat. 11 over 27. My O is 11 and my H is 27. Amazing. Y'all probably already have this written down, but I'm going to write it down one more time right here. Sine theta equals 11 over 27. What is the opposite of sine? How do I get theta by itself? How do I find out what that angle is? What's the opposite of sine? For show, sine -1. And what I do on one side, I gotta do on the other. Yes, sine -1. Do the other side for sure. Sine -1 and sine will cancel and leave me with just theta equals. I'm gonna do this portion in my calculator here. So I'm gonna press sine -1. I'm gonna do 11 over 27. 11 over 27, 24.04. How could I do that? So I have 24.04. I need one decimal place. What would it be? 24.0 or 24.1? 24.0, yes. Right. The 4 is not bigger than 5, so it does not round up. 24.0. And this is an angle. How do we measure angle? Do we measure them in distance or in degrees? Degrees, yes, in degrees. 24 degrees. Amazing. Okay, we're gonna try a poll, a different poll than normal. I want you to look back at this problem. If you got stuck on this part here where we were labeling, you're gonna choose option A. If you got stuck on this part where we were choosing, you're gonna choose option B. If you were confused or had a question on building the equation, you're gonna choose option C. If you got confused in the equation solving, you're going to choose option D. And if you got all the way to the end and you are not confused or you don't have a question, you're going to choose option E. Okay. So choose where or tell me where or if you got confused. Tell me where or if you got confused. Did you get confused on this part, on the choosing, on the writing the equation, on the solving, or are you good? So if you got confused on this first part, you're saying, okay, I need to decide, are these, like if I go straight across, that's my opposite. If I have my long side, that's my hypotenuse. If you got confused on this part, I'm saying, okay, I had O and H. Which of these has O and H? B, this one here. If you got confused on part C, we are using our sign, our first letter from here. It's always going to be in this format. We're going to have sine and then theta and then the O over H because it's O over H. Looks like if we got confused, most of us got confused on this step. And all we're doing is taking this exact same equation, sine theta 11 over 7 right here, on that portion here, and we are getting rid of the sign by using sine negative 1. When we type in sine negative 1 into our calculators, it gives us 24 there. Sebastian, sine negative 2 or negative 3 actually, to my knowledge, does not exist. So sine inverse, sine negative 1, that is the inverse of sine, but sine negative 2 doesn't exist. Desmos isn't letting me put in sine or give you the right answer, and it's on degrees. There's 2 ways to put in sine on Desmos. One is to literally like type the letters S-I-N. So if you go to ABC or just use your keyboard, sine like this, it will turn into sine. Since we want the negative 1 version, the inverse version, you're going to go to functions somewhere, and then you should see a sine or sine negative 1 like that. And then type 11 divided by 27. And if that's still not working, maybe try refreshing. Great question. Okay, team. Can I explain how to do step A? Yeah, step A is from assignment 29. So all we're doing is labeling our sides. So from the angle, right, we're going straight across and straight, whatever side is across, that's our opposite, right? That's our opposite. And then whatever side is across from the 90-degree angle or our longest side, that is our hypotenuse. So that's why we put H there, right? I actually kind of skipped step 1. So step 1, basically, we were just putting what we don't know, which is theta, the angle. And then the givens are 11. I skipped this step, but we put like 11 is our opposite and 27 is our H. So we have O and H, and that gives me sine. All right, let's try another example. I think it will help us out. Okay, let's go here. Go ahead and take a moment to write down this triangle here. Quickly, just like it does not need to be perfect. It does not even need to have straight lines. Just go ahead and draw this one quickly. And then we're going to label our sides. We're going to label our sides here. If I have my theta, straight across that is my opposite. My longest side across from the 90 degrees is over here. That's my hypotenuse. I don't have a number there and I don't care to find it, so I don't need it. And then that leaves this leftover one. The side next to the angle would be my adjacent. Yes, adjacent. So my givens are 7.7 is my opposite. 14 is my adjacent. I'm trying to find theta. So if I have O and A, am I going to use sine with O and H, cosine with A and H, or tangent with O and A? What does my problem give me? Yes, Emiliano, good job. I want 2 more people to tell me, what should I use? Should I use sine, cosine, or tangent? Yes, Zephyr, yes. Jasmine, thank you. So I'm going to use tangent. It has O and A in it. Thanks, Roxana. So I would have tangent Do we know my angle? We don't know the angle, so I'm going to put theta there, right? Circle with the line through it. And then tangent is O over A, goes in order, O over A. So what numbers am I going to put on top over the bottom? Numerator over denominator. Absolutely, Roxana. 7.7 over 14. Yes, Emiliano. Yes, Jasmine. Amazing. So I have my equation. And then I'm just going to copy, I'm going to copy this part down so that I can keep writing on it like this. All right. What is the opposite of tangent? How do I get rid of tangent? Tangent -1, yes. So tangent inverse. That's going to get rid of tangent and leave me with just theta equals tangent inverse of 7.7 over 14. Go to my calculator. I press function. Go to tangent -1. And now inside of here, I'm going to press 7.7 divided by, so I press this one here, and then 14, like that. 8.81, the 1 is not going to change by 8, so I have 8.8, or 28.8. And how do we measure our theta? How do we measure an angle? What is our unit here? Sebastian, we could round up to 29. That is true. I'm gonna, for today, we're using tenths. So we're gonna leave it as 1 decimal place. I'm gonna leave it as 1 decimal place. So 28.8 is gonna be our answer here. My question though is what unit do we put? And the unit is degrees. Yes, yeah, good job. The unit is degrees. Amazing. Okay, we've seen another problem. I'm going to ask the same question. Where did you get stuck? So looking back at this question, did you get stuck here? Did you get stuck here? Did you have a question there? Or did you make it all the way to the end? Right, so I'm going to open up this poll. Where are you at? Oh, not that one, sorry. Let's try this one. There you go. Where are you at? Did you make it all the way to the end? Where did you have a question this time? If you had a question, I would love to answer them. So if you could type it to me in the chat or come off mute, I would love to answer your questions. If you are someone who's still getting stuck at this first part, I would highly recommend going back to assignment 29 and doing some more practice, right? You're just going across, that's your opposite. 29 is your hypotenuse and adjacent over here. All right, take about 5 more seconds with that poll. 3, 2, and 1, thank you. It looks like for most of us, we're feeling pretty good. We just maybe got stuck in this tangent step. If you're like, wait, miss, why did you write this down here again? All I did was copy the orange part here and put it right here, right? So I just copied it into this box, but you don't have to. And then tangent -1 is how I got rid of tangent to get theta by itself. Will it always be beta? Did you mean degrees, Noemi? Like, will it always be degrees? I think that's probably your question because X is not 0. Noemi, is there a chance that you could come off mute and talk to me more about your question? You just don't understand what it is. I think she's typing too, yeah. She also sent me a direct message. Thanks, Amelia. I will say that it's okay, Normie. As long as the degrees, as long as the angle is what we're looking for, the answer will be in degrees because that's how we measure angles, right? So we measure angles in degrees, and it will give you two sides. In our other problems from last week, it gave us the degrees and one side, and we had to find the other side, right? So for today, all of our problems will be in degrees. There will always be two sides that they give you. It's a good question. Okay, I want to have us do one problem, but I want you to try it on your own. I want you to try this problem on your own. So you're going to draw this triangle. You're going to label the sides. I want you to see how far you can get before you get stuck. And then in the chat, I want you to tell me if you are done or if you are stuck. I want you to tell me if you are done or if you are stuck. As soon as you get done or as soon as you get stuck, I want you to tell me in the chat. And if you know what the answer is, you can go ahead and chat it to me. Marcy, let me just check it. That looks right, but let me double check. Marcy, great job. Gabby, not quite. Can you tell me what equation you wrote? So you're trying this one, you're telling me when you're done or when you're stuck. Tell me if you're done or if you're stuck in the chat. Right now I have about 5 people. I'm looking for about 35 people. All right, if you're ready for me to explain, go ahead and drop a Y in the chat. If you're ready for me to explain, go ahead and drop a Y in the chat. All right. Carrie, you're funny. Sending merits to you. Thanks for your joy this morning. All right, we have our theta here. My theta straight across. What is this side over here? What is the long unmarked side? Is it O, H, or A? If it's straight across from theta, it is O, thank you. Okay, this is my long side over here. What is 45? O, H, or A? It's H, yes. What is my leftover side? A, yes. So in this problem, 26 is A and 45 is H. That means O does not matter. O does not matter to me. Roxana already knows what my question is. I'm going to use cosine, right? That C stands for cosine. That's what I'm going to put here. Cosine of theta. Someone write my fraction for me. What over what? (26 over 45). Absolutely. 26 over 45. Now I'm going to solve it. How do I solve it? If I want to get rid of theta, how do I solve it? What's the opposite of cosine? I want to get theta by itself, sorry. How do I get rid of cosine? Yes, cosine -1 is my inverse. Cosine inverse. Theta is going to be equal to functions cosine -1, 26 divided by 45. 54.70, just going to be 54.7 degrees. 54.7 degrees. Yes, Emiliano, amazing formula. Many of you got 54.7. If you got 54.7, tell me in the chat. Say, Miss, I got it, or give me a thumbs up. Throw a party emoji on yourself. Do it. Amazing, Roxana. We've got some party emojis going on. Love it, Jasmine. Love it, Joy. Great job. Okay, do y'all see how this is a review of what we were doing on the previous day? On Thursday? Yeah. Amazing. I love it. I'm a big fan. So for your assignment, let me show you your assignment real fast. For your assignment, you have already done the notes. You are 10 points already done, right? 10 points already done. You are back to your options. So you do have the options for either paper or iExcel. Please note two ways that you can get help. The first one is that there are help videos on number 1, number 2, and number 6. If you want to watch me do number 1, 2, and 6, you can. If you would prefer to do the iExcel and you want some help, there's a help video linked here. All of those videos are also linked on Canvas if you are interested. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see your checkpoint form. One thing I have been noticing is that people have been doing the notes and part 1, but not doing part 2. This is the easiest 10 points. It is only 3 questions and you get 10 points. That's the same as the notes. So if you are going to, like, basically you're leaving 25% of the points on the table by not doing the last 3 questions, right? So even if you get stuck in the middle here, I would recommend doing the notes, do part of the of part 1, like do whatever part, like let's say you did half of it, turn that part in, and then make sure that you do the checkpoint form, right? That'll give a lot of good information and that will get you like 75 at least or 80% of the points, right? So you can still get a B even if you don't finish the whole thing. Does that make sense to us? I really, 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 really want us to turn things in, turn it in, turn it in. That is my suggestion to you. Okay. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat or come off mute now. Otherwise, have a glorious Tuesday. Text me or message me if you have any questions. This is the end of our time together, unless, so sorry, Ms. Flores, unless you have a breakout room, you should be open now. So if you get a breakout room notification, feel free to jump into it to work with your team or jump in to work with Ms. Flores. Jump in.
You too, Miss.
Bye.